Hello. I was hoping to actually get in and do a little recording on the immune system before this one woke up, but she had a short sleep, of course, so just bear with me. I wanted to talk to you today about your immune system, what it is. There's 2 stages to an immune response to a pathogen that is really interesting and you should know. And then I'm going to get into a couple of my top immune boosting foods. So the first thing to keep in mind is that your immune system is everywhere. It's your lymphatic system, it's in your blood, it's in your tissues. So often we think about it as white blood cells, but it's so much more than that. Think of your immune system as the police force. It's patrolling everywhere, looking for where it needs to respond. There's 2 stages to the immune response when your body's exposed to a pathogen. You've got the innate immune response and you've got the adaptive immune response. Your innate immune response occurs within the first 0 to 12 hours, and they're your first responders. It's your first line of defense. So think of some of your specific immune cells would be your natural killer cells. These are the guys that just come out firing with machine guns. They pretty much just open fire. They don't really spend the time or differentiate between what the pathogen is. You've also got macrophages, phagocytes. So you've got these guys that are all working really hard just to keep you healthy. If you move into the second stage of the immune response, you're moving into the adaptive immune response. And this typically occurs about 12 to 24 hours after you've been exposed to a pathogen. Something really beautiful happens after about 7 to 10 days. Your body produces memory cells. Think of memory cells as kind of like files in a filing cabinet. They record a specific formula of how your body can respond to the strain, and they just store it so that in the future, should you need to know how to respond to it, they can open up the filing cabinet and see what they did previously. I'm going to tell you a little more about some foods that can support your immune system, but something that's really important in terms of supporting your innate immune response is sleep. And why sleep's so important is that they've done studies, and one study in particular showed that 5 hours sleep or less can nearly halve your natural killer cells. Halve them. Good news is the following night, if you get good quality sleep, your natural killer cells restore. So, where possible, prioritize sleep, especially as we come into cold and flu season. If you're sick, if someone in your house is sick, it's one of the best things you can do to support that immediate innate immune response. The ideal scenario, which isn't always possible, I know, but it would be getting 8 hours of sleep a night. And trying to mimic the body in terms of your natural hormones would be sleeping from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So see how you go. Bacteria and viruses, I just wanted to mention that they are a little bit different. So with bacteria are really small, they're single-celled organisms that get into the cells. Viruses, on the other hand, are even smaller than bacteria. And what viruses do is they carry genetic material. So it's RNA, it's DNA. They need a host. That's us. That's where we come into it. And what they do is they can hijack the cell, particularly the mitochondria. And if you go back to like your high school days of science, your mitochondria, here's the dude that produces energy, which helps understand why you can often feel so rubbish, right? When you have an infection. It is important for me to point out at this point that yes, antibiotics can be life-changing for bacterial infections. They are overprescribed massively. We know this, the medical world knows this, science has proven it. In fact, the World Health Organization state that antibiotic resistance, which is due to overuse of antibiotics, is a global health crisis. And like recent stats are staggering. About 46% of Aussies take at least 1 course of antibiotics per year. So I wanted to mention too, just my top 3 immune supportive foods. But before I do, I love to point out the importance between the gut and the immune system. 75% of your immune cells live in your gut. So it's no wonder that really gut restorative foods like oats, potatoes, bone broth, loads of veggies support your gut microbiome, which is where your immune system is hanging out. My top 3 immune supportive foods for you to start focusing on. 1, it's really simple. I'd love for you to eat 2 to 3 Brazil nuts per day. Brazil nuts are really high in some of your key minerals, including selenium. This is a key mineral for helping modulate your immune function. It's an antioxidant, so it helps slow down and reduce that typical wear and tear on the body. And selenium is needed by your thyroid for your thyroid to function properly in terms of energy and metabolism. So get started with some selenium nuts in your cupboard. My second thing would be cabbage. Cabbage is so simple, right? And if you can, do a fermented cabbage, a sauerkraut. So look, cabbage is really high in vitamin C. However, when it's fermented, it's up to 30 times higher in vitamin C than raw cabbage. Cabbage is also classified as a bitter food. Bitter foods are amazing for your gut and immune system. They increase your bitter taste receptors, which causes a whole number of things to happen. One of them is that it increases your stomach acid, so your body can break down your food more effectively. It also increases bile so that your body can actually break down your fat well. So grab a cabbage. My third favorite immune supportive food would be bone broth. Bone broth, essentially you boil up bones with a little bit of water and apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar helps extract those beautiful minerals from the bones, the cartilage, etc. into the water. And you just try to have a cup of bone broth each day or every second day. It is an amazing source of protein, and you're going to get the added benefit of collagen, gelatin, so a lot of those beautiful immune and gut restorative agents. Tomorrow, I'm going to dive a little deeper into specific nutrients to support your immunity. Bye.